Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Donald Trump is an insane person. Donald Trump is a conspiracy theorist. His claims of witch hunts and that the CIA and the FBI are trying to take him down are so ludicrous and insane, and they're radicalizing his base. Blah, blah, blah. You know, we've heard it all a million times. They tell us Donald Trump's crazy for saying it, and that the MAGA cult members simply just follow it and repeat and regurgitate what Donald Trump says. No, of course not. We say it because we see it. We believe it because, well, it's believable and we see it with our eyes. We don't deny what we see and what we hear, and we don't live in your little media manufactured bubbles. You know, a lot of the times in my criticism of characters like Bill Maher, for instance, where he appears to be so knowledgeable and so on top of all the issues, I always say guys like Bill Maher are never aware of some of the most hard-hitting investigative journalism of our time. And what stories exactly am I referring to when I say that? Well, stories like this. Some of the stuff that we see coming out of the O'Keefe Media Group, James O'Keefe's new spin-off after he was removed from Project Veritas, a foundation that he started. Well, James O'Keefe and the O'Keefe Media Group, OMG, strike again. What was it? A month, maybe 2 months ago, where we covered an FBI official essentially spilling the beans, talking about the inside anti-Trump agenda and how agents actively work to ruin and sabotage Donald Trump. And of course, we've seen it with the Twitter files, we've seen it with Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, the FISA warrant abuse, the Steele dossier, yada yada yada. Well, like I said, James O'Keefe strikes again, this time not exposing the FBI, but the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, another rogue agent spilling the beans, showing exactly what happens behind the scenes. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so we'll try to keep it as brief as possible. It's a 25-minute video, but really I think we could condense it into a very short highlight reel. Here's a high-up individual at the CIA, a man by the name of Amjad Anton Fasasi, a program manager of cyber operations at the Central Intelligence Agency. Take a look at what he had to say.
I work in the intelligence community. I work in the CIA. I do cyber operations. I've been doing it for a long time.
So how long have you been working at the CIA?
Since 2008. I've
Okay.
also worked at NSA too. And then I have a TSSCI with a full scope polygraph. That means that I'm fully vetted.
Amjad Fasasi shows her his CIA identification badge.
No, where does it say?
Does it?
Hey, that's the point.
That's the point.
What's CMC?
China Mission Center, darling. That's my mission center.
Gotcha.
Amjad talks about how the CIA kept information from Trump.
Like working.
We kept information from him.
Say one more time.
We kept information from him.
From Trump?
Yes. He's an idiot. There are certain people that would give him a high-level overview but never give it any details. Do you know why? His whole leak to his details.
This man literally just said, he explicitly said, he didn't imply anything. No, he explicitly said that we, implying him and people at the CIA, withheld information from President Trump. You know, call me crazy and maybe my interpretation here is incorrect, but that sounds like treason, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure the whole of the FBI and the CIA report to the president, right? Well, apparently not. There is an obvious, huge problem of political bias and corruption that has infiltrated and plagued these three-letter agencies, especially since the Trump years. And you know, this isn't anything new. Here's a story from August 14th of 2022. Intelligence officials withheld sensitive information from Trump while he was in office because they feared the damage that he could do if he knew. Then of course we all remember the Russian bounties on American soldiers' head reporting. Supposedly Donald Trump ignored the briefing, but then it came to light that he was never briefed on the issue. So either the story itself was fabricated, or the information itself was withheld from the president and then he was blasted in the media as having ignored the information or ignored the story or warning during intelligence briefings. Oh, and not to mention that former CIA head John Brennan is essentially calling for this practice to continue if Donald Trump is to win the next election. Ex-CIA head Brennan hints at intelligence community withholding sensitive info from Trump after he gets nomination.
But this traditionally is provided to the candidates for president by the sitting president. And so therefore I think it makes sense for the Biden administration to offer that to Donald Trump. Now, I'm pretty certain that my former intelligence colleagues will provide briefings that are not going to do any type of damage to sources and methods in terms of providing information to Donald Trump that he could misuse. But they will provide analytic overviews and briefings about some of the world's hotspots. letting Donald Trump know what the assessments are at this point. So I think it's going to be analysis that will be devoid of the sources and methods, the sensitive things that we are most concerned about, the types of things that were in all those documents that he had in the bathroom and other areas in Mar-a-Lago.
Obviously, something very concerning is going on. I'm not going to go as far and say as all these three-letter agencies are totally corrupt, irredeemable. I don't think that's true at all. I think there's a lot of good agents. I think there's a lot of people doing amazing work. But at the same time, there's clearly an issue. There's obviously an issue with rogue agents and certain politically connected and politically motivated individuals abusing their power in these positions for the benefit of a certain political party and class of people. How many more examples do we need? I mean, for Pete's sakes, we uncovered the Twitter files, where the FBI essentially interjected themselves in the midst of an election season to censor information, very, very relevant information, from the public in an effort to defend Joe Biden. Ex-51 former CIA officials, including the individual who we just listened to, John Brennan, signed on to a letter falsely discrediting the Hunter Biden laptop as a Russian information campaign to, quote, push back on the Trump campaign. They put their thumb on the scale in partisan fashion. We're obviously living in a two-tiered system. There's a standard for Donald Trump and then a standard for the uniparty establishment that's so clearly embedded with so many powerful people at these agencies. Donald Trump faces full-on persecution from all angles. And then, of course, Joe Biden, well, these agencies help him get elected. And then when he does things that are actually illegal, instead of facing indictments, no, he's protected. Two-tiered justice, DOJ announces that they will not be releasing Joe Biden's audio recordings with special counsel Robert Hur to protect Biden's privacy. What did we get throughout 4 years of Donald Trump's administration? Well, his administration was essentially infiltrated. All kinds of plants were placed in his campaign and in his administration, and it was leak after leak after leak. No privacy for Donald Trump, but Joe Biden does an interview in a case where he did something actually illegal, but Robert Hur decided not to charge him because he's a frail old man with a poor memory. But in that particular case, Joe Biden's privacy is being protected. We don't even get to hear the interview tapes, on top of the fact that he's not being charged, because obviously the #1 priority is to protect him at all cost and destroy Donald Trump, of course, also at all cost. What I'm hearing and what I've been seeing over the last couple of years, I think can be summed up as conspiracy to commit treason. That's what I've seen. I've seen it countless of times, and I simply don't get how it doesn't bother people or how the media doesn't cover it, nobody reports about it, and it doesn't even seem to break into the top 100 of American voter priorities. Are people not paying attention? When Donald Trump won in 2016, they tried removing him from office using rogue agents, foreign agents, and concocting some sort of ridiculous scheme using fake news, a fake dossier, as the basis for it all. And of course, the people in the media parroted the talking points and went along with the whole thing. Then they tried impeaching him multiple times. Then when that didn't work, they tried impeaching him multiple times. They hit him with multiple special counsel investigations, which then of course continued after he left office. He's now facing 91 indictments, bogus indictments on non-existent crimes. And of course, in 2020, they put their thumbs on the scale, controlling the flow of information, controlling social media companies and algorithms in a widespread election interference play. And now we have multiple clips from OMG Media where agents themselves are essentially saying the quiet part out loud. Are you not concerned yet? That's the only question I have. Absolutely shocking stuff. But really, in today's day and age, not so shocking at all, as sad as that is to say. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.